rough loss. Rough loss it was. Um, I don't know what to say. Um, I thought I would kind of feel a different way if we lost. Because I did have a maybe on this game for us winning, in my opinion. Um, but it's apparently just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, let's just get into it. I have like no intro for this. So of course we lost. Um, just finished up the game. Game just became final not that too long ago. Um, so of course, I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry if it's just kind of a long intro into this. It's just kind of rough losing this type of game, especially with the type of a performance that your team put up. And this offense just continues to show why it's just being probably one of the most underwhelming offenses this year. Because I just still can't believe the amount of like almost hype that this offense had because of its receiving room, because of Garrett Nussmeier potentially having a big Heisman like season, and it's just not being that way. Literally, like, yeah, the better game was, of course, against Southeastern last week, but nobody's going to look at that because that's Southeastern. It's not a game like this game against Ole Miss. It's not a game like against Florida. It's like apparently the big games, our offense can't get anything done. You know, I mean, the Louisiana Tech game is a different thing, but we're past that. I'm past that. But I don't know. I wanted to as well wanted to say like one side of the ball's fault, but really this isn't. This isn't just the offensive side's fault. It's the whole team. It's both sides because our defense, despite, I mean, yes, Ole Miss putting up only 24 points, which yes is probably low in some people's eyes. I don't care. It's still pretty high, especially with the amount of hype the defense came in with this game because of how many points the defense allowed coming into this game. It's just, they underperformed. They underperformed on both sides of the ball. And I don't know. Like, let's, like, defensive wise, the only things really was just our coverage was just bad and terrible. We couldn't, we barely couldn't, we barely showed pressure, but then of course the quarterback is sort of a mobile type quarterback and he can scramble around, make time. That's apparently our freaking kryptonite on defense because we can't tackle and all that. That's another thing. We couldn't tackle barely. Penalties sometimes definitely cost us on defense. I mean, there was some good. We had the forced fumble, we had that interception, but typical LSU fashion, like I've always said, we couldn't capitalize on offense. But, I mean, defensive-wise, it was definitely not the best game for our defense. And, like, I do want to kind of say, like, mostly, Ole Miss was the better team. And their offense did do good. And, I mean, their quarterback kind of surprised everyone, really. We didn't know how the quarterback was going to play. I mean, fans would probably say, and people would probably say, like, if it was in Death Valley, it probably would have been different. But because it was at home, I would definitely agree on that. I definitely agree on that a little bit. But they got the win, and they were the much better team. I mean, the same thing can go for their defense, but it was just also there was a lot of moments that our offense could have capitalized on, you know? Because, like, there was a lot of times that, like, penalties kind of helped us. Because they had 14 penalties to us only having 7. You would think probably the team with 14 penalties would be the team to probably lose and not do good. No, that didn't happen in this game. Not really. And yeah, I mean that's like we couldn't even cover downfield, and we couldn't send pressure like we always would. And it's another thing was the long downs. Literally, there was multiple times third and long, and they get the big play, and it's like, what? Why? Like what is like this defense full on crumbled, and it was just like they apparently saw the offense was doing bad, and it was just like, oh, let's just crumble as well. Like, and I don't know. It's just like, and then I was hoping we'd do the second half magic as well and play great. No, we still didn't play great. I mean, we didn't allow them a touchdown in the third quarter, but we still allowed the one touchdown because apparently that's how this defense was in this game. Was we would do good on one drive and get either a turnover or turnover on downs, but then the next drive happens, we let them drive down the field and score a touchdown. It's like the defense was mostly just not consistent in this game. Yes, there was good moments and potentially good plays, but they were not consistent on getting a turnover on downs almost every drive, you know? And it looked good, especially when we were up 7-3 and our defense looked good. It was just like that drive when they scored a touchdown was just like our defense just stopped being our defense. In my opinion, is what I saw. But enough about the defense, really. It's just mostly kind of falls down to the offense. Because the offense couldn't do crap. We cannot do anything to save our lives on third down. We went 2 for 11 on third downs. 2 for 11 on third downs. We can... Another thing I want to say is, we can't block. Yes, I know we have new starting linemen. We have some young linemen as well. Of course, we had a couple of linemen who were injured, especially one of them got injured in the middle of the game. But you guys need to know how to block. Okay? Like, y'all need to know how to block. And I'm saying this right now because, again, this is only week 5. We still got a lot more season to go. And I hope this offense can turn something around. Because this was only the second SEC game we've played. And I am hoping and praying to God that this offense finds something and finds something that works and just like and be the offense that everybody wants them to be. Because that's the thing that is making me sort of upset and sad to watch this offense play, is just almost the sort of amount of hype that this offense had coming in, like I said at the beginning of the video, with the stacked wide receiving room and Garrett Nussmeier being a favorite for a lot of quarterback awards, only for him to only be throwing one freaking touchdown and nearly not even 200 yards passing in big games like this, and especially against Florida. And that is another thing with this offense, is Garrett Nussmeier himself. The amount of bad decisions he made is the reason, it was the one thing fans kept talking about, and the one thing he had to work on in the offseason was his decision making and his mostly just his decision making and most of his throw power. I don't want to say throw power, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like just his decision making. And another thing that I did talk about, there was one play on a second and long, he rolled out, and you could see on the screen, this is what I hate about quarterbacks, especially what he did, because he did the same crap last year. He would roll out, and there would be at least a good amount of room in front of him for at least to run and get a couple yards to make a third down more manageable after a second down and 20. What does he do? He chunks it up in double coverage, when earlier in the game he did the same thing and it got picked off. His decision making was probably the worst out of the whole season at this point. And it's just like, I don't want to like bad talk him, because I do know that he's a great quarterback. He is a good quarterback. And we know that because we saw how he was last year, but he's not showing that this year in these first few games. And again, the best game he's had was the quarters that he played in against Southeastern last week was the best game he had when passing. He needs to change something. Not only just him, the whole freaking team on offense needs to change something. Because, again, it keeps being said, if this offense continues to play like this, and they probably win out the rest of the season, and they are a top-level team to make the playoffs, and potentially could be up there for an SEC contender, or even try to make the playoffs, but if this offense continues to play like this, and our defense maybe does a little better than what they did in this game, and potentially continues to be a top defense in the nation, this team is not winning a national championship. Let alone, people are even saying they're not even now a favorite to win the conference. Especially now after losing this game. Freaking Vanderbilt and now Mississippi State, who I'm actually have on right now, who's playing Tennessee, is undefeated, and also potentially could have a better chance than LSU to win the gosh dang conference. It mostly just, it comes down to this offense, because the defense, again, like I said before, there was good plays, and maybe, yes, there was good plays from the offense. There was that tip touchdown that Lane Kiffin kept freaking calling a fluke touchdown, that every time he freaking said it, I wanted to go through the screen and punch him in the face, because I couldn't understand why, and there's no explanation why that would even be a fluke touchdown. But I'm not going to go into that, because I'm going to rant about it for 5 minutes. But all in all, it's our first loss of the season. It was a rough loss, okay? I mean, we came back in, and it wasn't a two-score game. It was a one-score game that we lost. But, I mean, it is what it... I mean, right now, what I just got to say, it is what it is. We're going to move on to the next week. Of course, we're going to have to suffer from this loss, but we're going to move on to South Carolina next week. And we're back home, which will be good. At home against South Carolina next week. Move on and focus on that. It's just yeah. But of course I'll talk about that in preview video whenever I do it for that game. But yeah, like, it is what it is, and I do want to say Ole Miss definitely was the better looking team. Their defense definitely also had answers for us, but it was just like we couldn't change that. It's like we when we came back in the second half, there was a little bit of changes that we had, but it was just like we couldn't have answers for their answers, you know? Like, they had answers for us on offense, but we couldn't, like, punch back on those answers with answers of our own to, like, adjust to this defense again. So, I don't know. I hope that at some point, when we get towards the middle of the season, that there is some sort of turning point. I hope and I pray. I hope, especially on the offensive side. I mean, I do see our defense is still as a top defense in the nation. Like I said before, there was still big plays. It was just there was a lot of stuff we weren't doing well in. Like I said, coverage, pressure was not really great, and then like giving up on the long plays, especially on third down and long. You know, on like 3rd and 13s and all that. You know, but it is what it is. I mean, it's always going to be a tough game against Ole Miss, and yeah. So I mean, they get the win, they stay undefeated. We get our first loss. Like I said before, we're just gonna have to suffer through it a little bit. You know, we're gonna have to suffer through it, especially me, because now I have tomorrow to deal with. Which, now that I'm saying that, I don't know when this video will come out, because I don't know if I'll try to get it out today as I'm recording it on Saturday, or if I'll try to get it out tomorrow or something. I don't know, but I'll figure something out. Though. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Of course, a little bit of a long video, but it was just, of course, a lot to talk about. Again, keep saying it 1,000 times, I just hope we get some sort of turnaround, because it's like, I can't keep saying, because I've said 1,000 times, we need the numbers to go up for Nussmeier, because he's only having 1 touchdown. Like, I just like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I hope something changes. I hope and I pray that something changes for this offense, and our defense continues to be pretty dominant and pretty good and all that. So, and again, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments down below and all that other stuff. Definitely let me know. go, of course, follow me on my X and Instagram accounts. Links to both of those will be down in the description below. Definitely go check it out. So yeah, we'll definitely have a preview video for South Carolina next weekend, for next weekend's game against South Carolina at some point next week. So yes, definitely make sure you guys are notified for that, notified on the channel. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, everything out of the way so you guys can be notified though. And also, if you guys did enjoy this video though, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for future upcoming videos, and especially for the next preview video for South Carolina. Now with that out of the way, this has been a super long outro. Can't even speak. Hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video.